After watching thousands of films, these are the ones that I consider to be perfect. Abbas Kiarostami's legendary Close Up is a perfect film in how it blends the lines between cinema and real life, and they dissolve into the most compassionate ending imaginable. Wim Wenders' Paris, Texas is undoubtedly a perfect film. I've never seen a film that nails isolation and loneliness and dissolution from the self so effectively and beautifully. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is one of the more recent perfect films that I have seen. Every single shot in this film is like a brushstroke. The composition is perfection, and the ending shot is one of the most devastating in modern cinema. Ingmar Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage is one of his greatest films of all time, in how Bergman manages to strip a marriage down to two faces in a close up and proves that's all cinema ever needs to really do. Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cure is quite possibly the embodiment of evil in film. It's evil as a whispered suggestion, and Kurosawa here makes emptiness itself contagious. It's absolutely brilliant. One of the best films I've seen in a long time. Ernst Lubitsch stares down fascists in 1942 with a farce so precisely timed that the jokes double as acts of resistance. Climax is just an unbelievable film. It's absolutely insane. It's a dance film simultaneously, but also one that curdles into damnation in real time. And by the time the camera finally turns upside down, there's nowhere lower to point it. Amazing. Harakiri is, on so many levels, absolutely perfect. A samurai dismantles the entire code of honor through storytelling alone, revealing honor in society as a hollow suit. From composition to storytelling, this is one of the greatest films of all time, simply put. Jacques Tati's masterpiece, Playtime, is an absolutely incredible indictment on modern capitalism, where Tati builds an entire glass city just to watch modernity trip over itself, choreographing chaos in frames so deep you'll never see all of it. Robert Altman is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, and Nashville is undoubtedly his masterpiece and might actually be the great American film. It's just perfection. The Night of the Hunter is the only film Charles Laughton ever directed, and it goes down in history as one of the greatest of all time. It plays like a grim fairy tale shot by a German expressionist through the lens of the Southern Gothic, and it's unlike any film you'll ever see. The composition and the shot design in this film, it's just incredible. Though some fans seem to appreciate other films of Joachim Trier more, like Sentimental Value or The Worst Person in the World, I still think his 2011 masterpiece Oslo, August 31st, is his crowning achievement. It's an achingly human, beautifully melancholic film about a recovering addict drifting through a city that has moved on without him, and it is so beautiful. Rarely are horror films this grindhouse designed and so incredibly artistic in the process. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, stands as probably the greatest exploitation film of all time, shot like a documentary of the American sun at its most malignant. And it's not even that gory, but somehow it's more terrifying and horrifying than 90% of horror movies that you'll ever see. On the note of horror films, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, might actually be the greatest horror film of all time. Kurt Russell, incredible in this film, and I love the existential horror and paranoia of this concept in tandem with its setting. It's just brilliant. Fanny and Alexander is Ingmar Bergman's whole career coalesced into one breathtaking work. Every warmth he could imagine and every cruelty he survived, all side by side. I love Andrei Tarkovsky, and so many of his films are absolutely perfect, but Andrei Rublev has a special place in my heart. It's just a magnificent character study in every way. I read a review once that said that Michael Mann makes films about goddamn fucking professionals, and as a one-off as that review sounds, it so aptly describes the caliber of filmmaking that Michael Mann is into. Heat is just a perfect film in every way. It is Michael Mann's best. The cinematography is beautiful, evoking the lighting of the city of Los Angeles at that time and place. And yeah, it's just a very tragic and beautifully told story. For me personally, The Big Lebowski is my favorite film of all time. Probably always will be. I think the genius of The Big Lebowski is subtle. It is a Chandler noir where the detective is a stoned pacifist and every digression is the point. Fellini's masterpiece, Eight and a Half, is representative of a director's creative block becoming a circus of memory and desire, ending in the most generous image Fellini ever made. Everyone he's ever loved holding hands. A But Soufflé, aka Breathless, Jean Luc Godard, his masterpiece of the new French New Wave, still stands as probably the greatest French New Wave film of all time. This film single handedly made the jump cut what it is today. It broke the rule book, cut it to pieces, and invented cool in French cinema, basically. And it's still an amazing film. David Lynch is my favorite American filmmaker of all time, and Inland Empire is my favorite of his works. It's an odyssey through female trauma specifically. But here, Lynch shoots identity dissolving on digital video so degraded that it feels like the film itself is having a nightmare, and it is probably the most surreal Lynch has ever gotten. Terrence Malick, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, a true artist of composition and framing. And to me, the more abstract Malick gets, the more I kind of drift away at points from what he's trying to accomplish. Days of Heaven is just concrete enough, but just transcendental enough as well to be absolutely riveting. Every time I throw this film on, I'm reminded of its beauty and of the humanity behind the camera. To this day, there are shots in this film that just take my breath away. They are staggeringly beautiful. Edward Yang's seminal masterpiece, Yi Yi, takes us through this incredible character study and showcases middle class life in Taipei in a staggeringly human light. Absolutely amazing. Werner Herzog's enduring masterpiece, Aguirre, the Wrath of God, is a seminal tale of nature consuming civilization and nature consuming sanity. Some of the performances in this film, they're just absolutely insane. When I think of romance in film and I think of beauty and being enraptured by the world around you, few films bring those emotions to the forefront more than City Lights by Charlie Chaplin. It's an absolutely mesmerizing, joyful film. Another one of my absolute favorite films of all time, Charlie Kaufman's Synecdoche, New York, is a staggering, in some ways epic, mournful, melancholic film about the passage of time, about memory, about death, about artistry, about the artist's legacy, and I think it should go down as one of the greatest films of all time. Lars von Trier's Dancer in the Dark might be the most depressing film I have ever seen, but it is absolutely incredible. It showcases the musical acting against itself, leading us to a conclusion where our protagonist is being thrust to the gallows herself. And this is only the first part, so stay tuned for more perfect films. Peace.